Hello everybody and welcome to one more video, one more build guide for Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. My name is Phaethodas and before we get into the video, remember that Titan Quest 2 is coming soon enough, at least the early access, and we will probably be here hopefully for a very long time making much more content. So if you enjoy the content of this channel already, where we have literally thousands of Titan Quest videos and streams and whatnot, remember to subscribe, it is free on YouTube, and also hit the like button on the videos that you watch and you like to support the channel. Now, this is a female character, as you can see, and this is the build that I call the Harmony build. Why do I call this build Harmony? Because in Eternal Embers DLC we get lots of new content, and we also get some new affixes for the items, random affixes. One of the affixes is called of Harmony. It is a suffix. And of Harmony provides, for example, we have this item which is resistant of Harmony. Of Harmony provides the stats that is fire resistance, cold resistance, lightning resistance, and chance to dodge attacks. The resistant prefix provides only the cold resistance. The Harmony provides all three main elemental resistances and chance to dodge attacks. This is it as a suffix. And I decided to put together a build where I would be using as many items that would have this Harmony suffix as possible and see what we can do with such a build. And here we have it. This build uses of Harmony, and all of these green items that you can see here, they have the Harmony suffix. This is a Dragon Hunter class, which consists of hunting and rune masteries. For the attribute points, I haven't spent any points on health, no points on energy, no points on intelligence. I spent many points on strength, because I wanted to increase my strength at least up to 524, and then the rest of the points went to dexterity. By the way, this is a legendary hero. It started straight away at level 70. Legendary hero is a feature that you get from the Eternal Embers DLC. Now, for the skills, we have in Hunting Mastery, we have maxed out the Steady Prey and the Add-on Flash Out. These things reduce resistance of enemies to the types of damage that we deal, so we deal much more damage on them and we kill them much easier. And all of the skills in Hunting Mastery are on +2 because I have an item that provides +2 to skills of Hunting Mastery. I have spent only 1 point on Call of the Hunted via Don't Exploit Weakness, but I have maxed out the Finesse because sometimes my offensive ability is good enough for legendary, but it is not the best. And when I fight against enemies that I can see that I cannot hit them very frequently, I activate this one, and this solves the problem of not having enough offensive ability against a few enemies. And also we can use it on bosses and deal much more damage to bosses as well. Here we have the Art of the Hat skill, which again is maxed out. It provides more buffs to pierce damage, bleeding damage, and flat damage against some races of enemies. We have maxed out the fight cover for the chest to avoid projectiles, and the trailblazing is at level 1. +2 from the item, 3 levels. We have maxed out the valet. This one, when you attack sometimes with this one, with one click of your attack, you hit 3 times instead of 1 your enemies. It is very powerful when it triggers. We have spent points on Spear Dance. I will max out this one later. This one is an AoE, a rotation you could say, something like a Will Wit by using the spear, but it does only one circle, one round. It is very awesome as a skill. Here we have maxed out the Wood Lore because this one, I mean, you don't need explanation for this one. And I have almost maxed out the Herbal Remedy for the survivability capabilities, the poison resistance and health regen per second, mostly for the poison resist. This health regen per second is not really useful in legendary difficulty if you don't make a build based on health regen per second. In Rune Mastery I have maxed out the Rune Weapon, which is the skill I'm using all the time to attack with. I have maxed out the Magical Charge, which is awesome because it gives more elemental damage to my spear attacks and also elemental retaliation, which means that enemies that attack me with melee attacks only, they receive back this number of elemental retaliation. And only 1 point on energy drain, just to get this 4% of attack damage converted to health. Although the other stats are very good as well, but this is the most important here. I have spent only 1 point on Secret Rage and the add-on, this one gives you, some very good damage absorption at speed when your health drops below this threshold, but it can save your life actually. This one can help even further by causing fear to enemies and making enemies run away. This opens up the path for you to escape, to flee the combat if you are afraid that you will die. Here we have maxed out the Rune Word Feather for the strength requirement reduction for all weapons and for the offensive ability, of course. I have maxed out the Rune Word Explode. This is very awesome because when it triggers, it hits enemies in this arc of attack. It has this meter radius anyway, and it also deals added damage, physical and fire damage. I have spent only 1 point on the Rune Word Bird because this one, it applies bird damage over time with even with melee weapons, but I do not rely on the bird damage over time to kill my enemies. I have spent only 1 point for now, at least on Absorb. This one helps with shield recovery time, which means that your shield can block more frequently the incoming attacks, and also the absorption of spell energy means that enemies that use energy to cast their spells on you, this percentage of the energy that they use, you take it back as energy yourself. And energy leads retaliation, which again is enemies that have energy bars, they attack you with melee attacks, you steal their energy, something like that. I have maxed out the Thunder Strike because it is a very powerful AoE attack, and the add-on Unleash, which is very awesome because it can do some very nice things, as we can see, including confusing the enemy. Which means that the enemy, when it is confused, it can start attacking its own friends instead of attacking you. But last but not least, we have the Rune of Life, which is very important because it provides survivability and buffs to strength and movement speed. So, here we have now the items. You can see this is red because it requires 538 strength and I have 524. But if I activate the Rune of Life on me, now it is on, because my strength is 565. So now we have the Star of Istar. I'm using this one for all of the stats that it provides, all resistances and also buffs to strength and dexterity, very crucial buffs to strength and dexterity. I mean, without this one here, not only can I cannot use this one, but also my offensive defensive go down. So I'm using this one and everything is fine. Here we have Agave's Soul. This is a legendary armor. As far as I remember, this drops from Ragnarok or Atlantis. I don't remember exactly which DLC drops this one. But this one is perfect for all the stats that it provides and also the +2 to Schematic Mastery. I'm using the Shield Eonios. Perfect shield for survivability. Super huge resistances. And of course this item, which is again very awesome for survivability because it provides many resistances and defensive ability and movement speed. And also the skill Disabling Wave, which is a good skill, but I'm using it for the stats, not for the skill. Now, all of the green items have the Harmony suffix, so we saw this one resistant of Harmony. I put on this one the Raptor Tooth component because I wanted to get even more physical damage, even more offensive ability and even more strength, which again provides more physical damage. Then we have Impenetrable Goddess of Harmony. This one provides pierce resistance of the impenetrable prefix and the harmony the rest. And we have the Primal Magma, which provides buffs to fire damage, which will deal more fire damage, which will deal now again with our weapon attacks. And also the freeze duration reduction and the super crucial charm bonus attack speed 35%. Here we have the Sage's Helm of Harmony. Sages provide energy points. It is good to have it, very good. And I went with the Wheel of Ajax because I wanted some secondary resistances and health points. Here we have the Resistant of Harmony on this one specifically, and also on this one. Again, Resistant of Harmony. We can see that we have 2 times fire and 2 times cold resistances. Why? Because when it gets down to the resisted prefix, what we get is 2 instances of the resisted prefix. One instance is that sometimes the resistant prefix appears on items by providing 1 single resistance, for example cold, fire or lightning. And the second instance is that it can provide 2 resistances instead of 1. So in this case we have the resisted prefix providing both fire and cold resistance, and this is why we have 2. And the same applies to this one as well. These items here are truly perfect, because the resistor provides 2 resistances instead of 1, and the harmony provides again resistances. So these are perfect items that you can get only from the Eternal Embers Act. And of course I went with the Demon's Blood component to get more vitality star resistances, and the same here. Now, last but not least, we have the spear, of course, with which we deal damage and kill enemies. The Blazing of Harmony. This is a very awesome spear because the physical base damage of the spear is very high. The Blazing prefix provides added flat fire damage, which of course gets boosted by other stats, like for example the percentage of fire damage from this one. The 40 fire damage of this one is added on the attacks of the spear. The spear already does 55 fire damage. We have all of these things working together on enemies, and you know, it is a powerful spear for this specific build. But of course the spear has the harmony suffix. This is one of the great things of this specific suffix. It also appears on weapons and shields, as far as I remember, also shields, and it makes this weapon very powerful. And I went with this gluttony component because I wanted the 30% attack speed and the bleeding resistance, which is, as you can see, I don't have lots of bleeding. It also provides bleeding damage over time, which I don't care about, but it is good to have it. You use it anyway. It is not bad. For the stats, let me activate all of my skills. We have perfect fire resist, perfect cold resist, perfect lightning resist. Attention! These are perfect while we have these curses activated. Fire's Wrath is the curse that reduces your fire resistance by 30%, as far as I recall. Heart of Frost reduces cold resist by 30%, and lightning reduces lightning resist by 30%. But these are maxed out because we have so many buffs from items on fire, cold and lightning resistances, for example these items here, of harmony and everything, that even with these 3 curses activated, our lightning resistances are still perfectly maxed out. And this build also now farms, you could say in a way, some currency, electrum currency, because it has these 3 curses activated and they do not really affect elemental resistances. But the problem is that all curses, when you activate them, each one of the curses affects the primary resistance. For example, Fire's Wrath affects primary fire resistance. It reduces it by 30%, minus 30%. But at the same time, it reduces all other resistances by minus 5%, if I remember correctly, or minus 10. I think it is minus 5. And the same applies to all other curses. So these 3 curses now affect the resistances of all other resistances of mine, and if I remove them, you will see that these resistances will go higher, and also the secondary resistances will go higher. This one will not be minus 50, it will be 0%. This will go higher. This build, if you don't use any curses, it is even more, it is even better. It has even better survivability, which we could say it gets close to perfection when it comes to survivability. These are the numbers of damage. Of course, these numbers go up when we are in combat, because when we attack with a rune weapon, we charge up the levels of our elemental damages, total damage and intelligence, and all of these stats, they increase our damage and damage over time, DPS. Not the damage over time, DPS. So, we have offensive ability, this one. Defensive ability is very good. Just to dodge attacks, avoid projectiles is very good at dodge attacks 69% because of the harmony suffix, which harmony suffix always provides a chance to dodge attacks. And avoid projectiles is good enough. And here we have nothing. So, this is the build. This build is very awesome for survivability, of course. And when it comes to damage output, it performs very nicely. Let's kill a couple of enemies. That one slowed me down. The numbers of damage are going up the more you attack. That was a spear dance. Should we go kill Hydra? Let's go kill Hydra. Hydra has no chance to kill this character. There is no way. Talking to Spartans. No need to talk to Spartans. So, as we can see, this is the gameplay of this build, and it is very simple. You use sometimes these attacks, and this one when you need Call of the Hand, it is very powerful. So yeah, this is the Harmony build. Guys, leave comments below with your opinions. How do you like this build? If you like it, if not, if you have anything to say, if you have an idea to improve this build even further. I'm all ears. And if you like this video, of course, hit the like button to support with the algorithm of YouTube. And I will see you very soon again with more videos and live streams. Have a great day.